said to me last week that you would pay for them.
This boyfriend refuses to pay for his partner's birthday meal.
Just can't afford it. Can't afford to take it all out as a group.
Are you joking?
No.
That's not what you said to me last week.
That's not what I thought we agreed on. I thought we agreed on me and you, and that was the thing.
Yeah, but that's on Thursday. That's next Thursday. We're going out today. It's my birthday today, and you said that you're going to be paying for them.
It's not got to spare money at the moment.
Oh guys, stop arguing.
It's
Birthday, like.
unbelievable.
Should we getting this stressed out?
Not
Yeah.
this last minute, honestly.
I'm not a sugar daddy. If you want a sugar daddy, go and find one. It is what it is, isn't it?
There's no need to say that.
Wow,
That's
that's rude.
It's what it is, isn't it?
Like, are you
Just
joking?
trying to make a joke out of me in front of your friends. It's fucking.
I'm not
Well,
trying
the
to
joke's
make a
probably your
joke
bank
out of you in
account
front
if
of
you
my
can't afford it.
friends.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Why are you saying all this
Why should you
now?
have to?
So I just
Why are you saying
show it up for your friends.
No, right.
That's clearly what it is.
I've just suddenly decided.
What's the issue? You said to them that you pay. Like last week, this is the arrangement. I'm just saying this last minute now. Do you know what I mean? It's one day that I want to have
That's
this,
what
and I can't even do that.
When like I say, for
What do
you,
you mean
yes,
you're
sweet,
struggling?
but
You paid
for
for
your
your sister's
friends,
birthday.
it's
There's
family,
10 of
isn't it?
them.
It's-
Oh, so we can pay for his sister, we can't pay
You
for
know
his
what? You're an absolute joke. Because I'm so sorry about this. He's just an absolute joke.
You don't have to be sorry for anything,
Like,
honestly.
they've actually travelled 1 hour to get
You're
here.
showing you up now in front of your friends.
I'm
but
not
that's a
showing up
joke
in front of
because
my
we're supposed
friends.
to be in a
You
relationship,
said to
aren't
me
we?
last
That's it.
week that you would pay for them. You shouldn't have said it if you weren't going to do
You
it.
heard that, you heard
Just
that, but I
as
can't
always, you
remember
never
saying that.
deliver. You never do anything for
Same
me.
as-
I've not had a
same as-
gift.
Wow. What a shocking video. The poor guy is getting cornered by his so-called girlfriend and 10 of her friends expecting him to cough up for their meal out. An absolute disgrace and the utmost disrespect to him. Now, it might surprise you, but men in relationships like this are more common than you think. Way more common. There are an obscene number of entitled women out there who are all take and no give. They have a "I'm a little princess" attitude and want you as a man to treat her like one. However, simultaneously, there are an equal number of men who are that desperate and willing to stoop this low for the sake of pleasing women. It's complete degeneracy coming from both sides, but at least the women can say they are profiting from the ordeal. The men are simply getting rinsed dry. Anyway, I'm going to be breaking down the abhorrent state of the dating market in this video. Things have gotten way worse in the modern era, and a lot of men are essentially letting themselves get used like a pay pig. First, let's address the psychology of both sides. For the women, it's easy. If men are offering to be your pay pig, then you might as well grab hold of that privilege. Use and abuse it until your boyfriend eventually runs out of money. There is no generosity on this side, and the majority of women are only out for what they can get. What's probably more confusing though is why men are allowing themselves to get trodden on. In my opinion, these men, and it's only the bottom 90% of men mind you, are in denial about being in said bottom 90% of men. So, in order to try prove to themselves and others that they aren't, they will stoop for a relationship with a woman above their looks match, but absolve all their respect and dignity in the process. And this needs to happen in order to make the relationship equal. Here's the reality of all couples like this, where the man is less attractive than the woman. The man always pays in one way or another. No exceptions. He'll either be propping up the woman's lifestyle financially, she'll have a bunch of other guys on the side and doesn't actually find her so-called boyfriend attractive, she'd be a single mum and wanting a beta male to raise her child, she's using him as a temporary placeholder until the real man she finds attractive comes along. You get the idea. These 4 points are the reality of these situations. But society is so blind to this and believes everything is what it seems on the surface and never reads between the lines. But that is why I do read between the lines and am able to spot what's truly going on in these relationships. The truth is, reality is never what it seems, and as I get into my experience proving what I'm saying is true, you'll eventually agree with me to the point so next time you see any couple walking down the street where the man is worse than the woman, you'll view all these couples for what they really are. Shambolic relationships. The man is paying in one way or another and she doesn't actually value him at all. So, let's get to the example. I used to work with this guy and one time he shared with me his Instagram. And later that day, I had a little browse and saw his girlfriend was insanely hot. Now, this confused me because the man was at max a 5 out of 10 and average height. But his girlfriend was a solid 8. Anyway, at the time, with me still being a little blue-pilled, I actually had a lot of respect for him and gave him props for attracting such an attractive woman. However, that's not the full story, because a couple months later I discovered they broke up. And just a few weeks before this, they went on an extravagant holiday to Disneyland Paris. They stayed at the nicest hotels, ate the best food, had the time of their lives. He even bought her a handbag as a gift which came with a £2,000 price tag. So on top of this, the trip in its entirety cost 10k. And guess who paid for the whole thing? No prizes for guessing correctly here, of course it was the poor sucker of a man. Now, before moving on to the next part of the video, I first want to give my thoughts on this situation and in fact all guys who go through things like this. You might think I have a lot of sympathy for these guys. However, in truth, my actual level of sympathy amounts to a grand total of 0. Because here's how it is. These men in these relationships all know deep down that they are getting rinsed. But in public, they have the nerve to try showing off to the world that they are better than everyone else because they've been able to attract a super hot woman. Let's not kid ourselves here. Every 5 out of 10 man walking around with a 7 or 8 has an attitude of a chip on his shoulder, thinking he's better than the bottom 90% of men because his girl is so attractive. He will walk around holding his girl's hand with a smug look on his face, thinking as he walks past you that he's your superior. Except, in reality, the only real difference between yourself and guys like him is that his advertised value is being supported by a mountain of lies. And inevitably, and this day will always come, he'll get the rude awakening she never really cared, and whether he runs out of money, the woman eventually monkey branches to a Chad, or his emotions can't take it anymore because of the number of times she's cheated on him, this day will come, he'll realise the facade couldn't be kept up forever and the relationship will come to an end. Exactly as predicted. And in fact, guys currently in these situations would be better off themselves if they cut the cord earlier than later. A band-aid is always easier to tear off instantaneously than pull it slow so it rips your hairs one by one. But the reason these men don't do this is because they've got too much pride. They've already dug themselves this hole, and when they go back to their family members where their dad tells them how lucky he is to have such a beautiful girlfriend, and his mum asked what he's going to get for her anniversary or birthday, these men have far too much pride in these moments to tell the truth of what's really going on, how his girlfriend is actually treating him like garbage, but he can't tell these truths due to the fact in the short run it's easier to sweep all of that dirt under the rug. So guys, I hope you learn a very important lesson in this video. If you are in one of these terrible relationships, then leave her now. Just leave her now. It's not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear, and it'll be better for you in the long run. Stop burying your head in the sand like a beta and instead face reality. And for the guys who aren't in these relationships but feel a lack of self-worth when you walk down the street and see average guys with hot women, open your eyes to what's actually going on in these couples. They aren't what they seem, and he's only a simp at heart. Constantly remind yourself there's always other variables to keep the seesaw in balance. Anyway, that's the material for today, and if you feel impacted by this video and don't want to simp your way to getting a hot girl, but would rather build your looks and value legitimately so you're actually on the same level as the women you find attractive, then my looks maxing program and community is exactly the right fit for you. There's over 3.5 hours worth of content here. You can see the results I've been able to achieve using water retention to get a more defined jawline and a leaner face. And there's also improvements from skincare, hair, fashion, etc. Additionally, you also get my 4 exclusive bonuses, including the 25 points first date checklist, which is everything you need to know before a first date, my full advanced SMV maxing guide, my complete dating roadmap to live the optimal dating life as a man, and you get invited to my exclusive WhatsApp community with over 140 men who all have a similar mindset. Now, this is a paid product because this is my job and I don't work for free. Just like a doctor doesn't cure diseases for free and a fireman doesn't put out fires for free. And it's worth every penny, and I charge a fraction of the price compared to what other YouTube gurus who I think overpromise and underdeliver on what they sell. In fact, my product is actually the same price as a video game and an OF subscription. So if you enroll in my community, you are already doing better than the tens of thousands of guys who choose this path of degeneracy instead of leveling up in real life. So, if this all sounds fair to you, and you want to be a part of a community with real people to increase your value in the real world and attract real women, then you can head to the description now to purchase. Or if you want to see an extended explanation of the details and all the value you'll receive, then I also have my explainer video breaking down the program more in depth. Again, link in the description. See you on the inside, and thanks for watching to the end.